How would you feel if tissue samples from your loved one's body turned up unexpectedly at the front door via courier? That was the case for one whānau who've welcomed the government's decision to endorse recommendations to improve how tupapaku, or bodies, are accessed and managed. Some Māori have been deeply hurt by insensitive handling of the bodies of whānau, including testing carried out during autopsies. They now want the government to endorse cultural considerations around how coronial services manage bodies and when those services are put in place. Te Mana Kōrehi reporter John Boynton has more.
Cheeky, loved life to the fullest, always had lots of jokes for people. Yeah, just a lover of life, really. Didn't like too much dramas, just wanted people to have a good time.
John Tamanui died suddenly in 2013 from a heart attack. It came as a terrible shock to his sister, Audrey Tamanui Nunn. And because it was unexpected, an autopsy was undertaken, a foreign and confusing process for his whānau.
When asked what questions we do have from the coroner's office, you don't know what questions to ask. Then to find that they'd taken body fluids and tissues after the fact, that was upsetting.
Audrey says the family's grief and confusion was compounded by a delivery several months after. His tissue samples were returned by a courier and left on the doorstep of his widow's home.
There needs to be more cultural sensitivities, more cultural education around those matters. It's not about the amount that's taken. Those things are important to us.
Ms Tamanui Nunn presented a submission to the Māori Affairs Select Committee about their difficulties with coronial services. She feels her brother would have wanted his whānau to ensure no one else was treated like that.
He was always a supporter of, doing things right and doing things to ensure whānau was safe. He'd be very proud. I know he would be.
And the government listened, this month accepting a number of recommendations from the committee about the management of tupapaku. This includes creating a national standard for tupapaku that supports tikanga Māori and the expectations of other cultures in New Zealand. For Albert Sadler, who helps to return tupapaku to whānau in Northland, the changes have been a long time coming. He wants bodies to be returned to whānau faster.
Some of our whānau are left without their loved one for quite a number of days, which in tikanga is very much inappropriate.
Albert Sadler understands the need to carry out autopsies, but feels Māori tikanga isn't being followed. He says many whānau aren't even aware that organs, tissue and bodily fluids have been taken for testing by the coroner.
They've been through the grieving process and buried their loved one. Somebody knocks on doors to accuse your relative's brain or something like that. For me, it's really quite disgusting if they do that.
The co-chair of the Māori Affairs Select Committee, Green MP Marama Davidson, says the task now is to ensure the recommendations are followed through.
We've now got a clear marker to really make some change, to improve and minimise and eradicate as much as possible. That process has caused much sadness at a time when families just really don't need it.
Over the next few months, the government will work with the police, coronial services and funeral homes to develop codes of best practice. So hopefully other families don't have to experience the pain of Audrey's after the death of a loved one. Mo te hōtaka o te ahiahi nei, ko John Boynton ahau.